All right, today we want to talk about our series for this month entitled Words of the Master. Words, we're going to start. Words of the Master. And we know who the Master is. The Master is Jesus. We also want to let you know where we were going to be looking in the Bible. We use the NIV, which is the New International Version of the Bible. Generally, we use 1984. As you know, there is a 2011 edition of the NIV that's come out. We're going to be focusing our attention on Matthew, the 5th, 6th, and 7th chapter, and one chapter in the book of John. And that's the 8th chapter. All of these will be the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th chapter. This is our study guide that will guide us through our series on words of the Master. Let's take a look at our text for this message. And it comes from the book of Matthew, the 5th chapter, verse 13. And it says, "You are the salt of the earth. But if that salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except being thrown out and trampled by men or women or whoever." The point being that salt, salt loses its flavor if it's diluted or watered down, or if it's not used for what it was intended to be used for. And salt is nothing more than sodium plus chloride. You've heard a lot of discussions about salt because salt does so much for us, and the thing that it does for most of us, and we'll take a look at my little stick man. I like to draw my little stick man here, and we'll give him some arms, a little smiley face here, and let's put some meat on his bones. And we'll look at where the blood circulates in our bodies and what allows for that circulation. The smooth or balanced circulation is salt. So this is a very important ingredient. It regulates the water balance in all parts of the body. So we can see that salt is a very important ingredient in our life. Now we then move to discussing our message. This is message number 1, and it's entitled Unsettling Sounds Heavenly, Heaven, heavenly music. What do we mean? Well, we're talking about words of the Master, words of Jesus. So what we're saying is one of two things will happen to you in listening to the words of Jesus. They will unsettle you, or they will be melodious. It'll be a sound that's transformative in nature. So first thing we said will happen to you, it would be unsettling. And of course, we know to be unsettling if you do not know the Lord. So the prerequisite for the unsettlingness of God's words is not knowing the Lord. And a lot of people fall in that category. As although we've preached the gospel to all parts of the world, there are still places that don't know it. But right here in our country, or right here in this community, there are people that don't know the Lord. And even in our midst are people who claim to know the Lord, but do not. But the second thing that it brings is that this same word is life-changing. And when it's life-changing, it's heavenly music. Music that is easy to listen to and easy to understand. Jesus was a common man, and he spoke to common people. He brought his message so that people right on the ground, farmers, fishermen, individuals who were carpenters, from common walks of life could get it. That's what made the music heavenly. And sometimes that makes it unsettling to those who are powerful or in powerful positions, who are rich or living or who are occupying prestigious positions. They seem to least likely to listen to the melodiousness of God's word. Now, that word was expressed primarily in the Sermon on the Mount. So here we see the Sermon on the Mount coming into play, which is what made our message from Matthew 5:13 so profound. Again, looking at the message, says you are the salt of the earth, and he's making clear to all of us that we are the salt of the earth, provided we're believers and followers of him. When we come to know God, K-N-O, know God, the possibility is possible for us to become the salt of the earth. And it also gives us an opportunity, that's the one, to become the salt, and two, to be able to share the flavor of God with others. And that's the key ingredient that allows us to become what God would have us be, do, and have in our life.